Before I begin this video, I'd like to encourage you to click on the links in the description to see what you can do to help the people of Palestine. I'm sorry, I'm not saying exactly what I mean, but I've learned that corporations are very supportive of genocide, and I don't want YouTube to suppress this video just because I decided to say something. Okay, so about a month ago, I decided to make a video, not even really critiquing Helluva Boss Season 2, just kind of explaining why a lot of people have fallen off the show. The main thesis of that video was that I believe that it's fair enough that some people don't feel like the show is living up to the potential that it set up for itself. And somehow, some way, the video only reached people who don't have media literacy skills. Helluva Boss is an independently made show and content creators don't owe us anything. I didn't say that. I said that people have criticisms of the show and that those criticisms are not baseless. And that kind of got me thinking about the Helluva Boss fandom and its interesting relationship with constructive criticism. Now let me get one thing straight. Helluva Boss is an incredibly impressive series, and VivziePop is incredibly talented. No one can change my mind on this. For a completely independently made show to be on par with shows made by billion-dollar studios, that's a legacy no one will ever be able to take away from Vivian Medrano. But here's the thing. If we are to consider Helluva Boss to be on the level of professionally made cartoons, then we should be able to criticize it like one too. And I know that Helluva Boss is not professionally made in this context, but let's be honest. The problems people have with Helluva Boss don't have anything to do with its production. If for some reason the show were to be bought out by Viacom or Universal or whatever company, none of the problems people have with the show are going to be fixed. Because the problem is with how it's being written. And something I've noticed is that VivziePop is really bad with taking criticism. Now for the record, I don't think that not taking criticism is the worst trait that a person can have. Not everybody has your best interests in mind. Some people just want to feel superior, and some people just want to be dicks and use criticism as a vector to do so. And at the end of the day, she's the artist. It's her show, she can write it how she wants. There are bigger things in the world than writing a mid-cartoon. But Vivzie and the fandom genuinely seem to think that people criticizing her show are preying on her downfall. And yeah, some people are. I've doom-scrolled on Tumblr. I know that there are people that are hating on her show just for the sake of being assholes. I know there are people out there that genuinely think she's a terrible person. I know that there are toxic people out there harassing her just because they can, and I don't think any less of her if this stuff bothers her. It's okay to be sensitive. Well, this is the internet. She should be able to handle it. Let's normalize condemning bad behavior before we condemn not wanting to deal with said behavior. Let's not enable people to be awful. Everyone's sensitive. If you insist that you're not, you especially. Anyway, my point was, I know that Helluva Boss has a lot of bad faith criticism against it, but I feel like the stuff being said by people who genuinely mean well is the stuff that Spindlehorse should be focused on fixing. Like Sarcastic Chorus, right? His videos all have very valid critiques of the series. He never badmouths anyone on the team or says that he hates the show. What he says comes out of a place of wanting the show to improve. Now, I don't always agree with him, and I can tell that he's trying to sugarcoat as hard as he can, but his critiques of the show are in good faith. One of his most popular videos is on how underdeveloped Millie is as a character. If you haven't already seen the video, I'll put it in the cards, but basically Millie and a lot of other female characters in the show are only defined by their relationships to other characters, which is not how important characters should be written. Vivzie's response to that general critique is that Helluva Boss is a male-led show, ergo they focus on the male characters. Okay, so no TV show has ever made this excuse. First of all, what does that even mean? Second, even shows that have a cast of characters led by one gender don't use that as a reason to not focus on characters of the other gender. I mean, I guess I kind of see where she's coming from, but that doesn't, like, fix the problem people have with Millie. She's not gonna appear in Has Been Hotel, the quote-unquote female-led show, and start getting development there, so what are we supposed to do? And those that insist that the show is flawless, tell me why. In Season 2, Episode 3, we don't know anything about Millie's relationship to Chaz. Why did she date him? Why did they break up? We can infer the answers to these questions, but the show doesn't even give us anything to work with. I couldn't even begin to guess what she saw in him, and we literally don't even know if she dated Chaz before or after he dated Moxie. Like, I can headcanon that she dated him when she was a teenager, you know, when she's young and doesn't know any better. But then why would Chaz, as a greed demon, be in the Wrath Ring as a 15-year-old, only to go back down to the Greed Ring as a young adult? You're gonna tell me that Chaz would survive in the Wrath Ring? 'Cause I highly doubt that. Look at him. This man is not surviving the Wrath Ring. I guess Millie's family goes down to Greed sometimes because they go to Lululand, but, like, they don't go that often. And, like, they don't stay there. So how could she have dated Chaz if she only goes down to Greed sometimes? You see how many hurdles I have to jump through to even try to make sense of this? The Helluva Boss fandom is incredibly insecure. I mean, most fandoms are, but the Helluva Boss fandom in particular just seems to believe that the show is exempt from criticism. Guess what, bitches? No show is exempt from criticism. Avatar: The Last Airbender is not exempt from criticism. VivziePop is not a small creator. You want proof of that? I made these Millie stickers that I sell at my school sometimes, and damn near everyone that comes to my table at least recognizes her, even if they don't remember what show she's from. And, like, when I think of how to properly handle critiques in your show, I think of Luce's character design in the Owl House. So Luce is fully intended to be Afro-Latina. She's based off a woman who's Dominican, and she's not mixed or anything, yet her and her mother have straight hair for most of the show. And I saw a lot of people online talk about this around the time Season 2 was airing. They said that they couldn't even tell that Luce and her mother are black women. But then in Season 3, Luce and Camila's designs are updated to have curly hair and remains that way for the rest of the series. And there's a scene where there's like a hair straightener in the garbage can, implying that the two were straightening their hair to fit into society's beauty standards. Now, I'm not convinced that this specific detail was planned from the start, but it was a fantastic way for the creators to kind of address this critique and incorporate it into the show's themes. That's what we want Helluva Boss to do, to incorporate critiques that we make into the show. And I understand that episodes of any show can take months to a year to produce, but the sarcastic chorus video about Millie was made in late 2021, and X's and O's was released in March 2023. That was arguably enough time to make sure that Millie had something in this episode, and they didn't. And no, I don't think Unhappy Campers did her any favors, although it was a good start, because she's never underappreciated by anyone in the show, and also, that was more of a Moxie episode than it was a Millie episode. Like, let's be for real.
And for once, I feel like I'm important. Like I'm somebody to be proud of.
Says the girl who's so OP that she couldn't be allowed to participate in the pain games. Nobody underappreciates Millie in the show. Let's be for real. I'm gonna end this video with 3 things, and I'm gonna hold the fandom's hand when I say this, but I really need you guys to peep game and lock in. Number 1, criticism of your favorite show is not inherently an attack on said show. If the critic isn't attacking anyone, there's probably a good reason they feel that way. Number 2, it's okay to not agree with a specific critique someone has. You don't even need a reason to disagree. You can just disagree and that be the end of the discussion. That doesn't mean that they're stupid or that you're stupid. It just means that you have different opinions. It's really not that deep. Also, it's okay if you're just watching a show just because you like it. And you don't care if the story is like good or bad. You just like watching it. That's how I feel about Helluva Boss, and that's why I made the last video. I acknowledge people's critiques as valid, but that doesn't mean I'm not a fan anymore. It's just something that I felt like getting off my chest. I feel like once the fandom realizes these things is when some of the toxicity can truly fade away. And for the record, if the next episode of the show is so good, it fixes like all the problems to the point where this video ages poorly, good. I want this video to age poorly. I want the show to be good, but you can't do that if you won't acknowledge that the critics have a point. Thank you for watching this video. I didn't write an outro, so I guess I'll just keep talking. As a side note, I don't mean to call out anybody who commented on the last video. This is just kind of an addendum to that video, because I made that video with the intention of like starting a conversation about Helluva Boss Season 2, and everyone who commented on that video just reacted to the title, and it really pissed me off because I like using my media literacy skills. Sometimes, it depends on the show, honestly, but I like using my media literacy skills, and no one who clicked on that video came to do that, and it kind of pissed me off. But it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to use your media literacy skills when you watch Helluva Boss. It's just that if you click on a Helluva Boss video essay, it can be surmised that we're going to take a critical look at Helluva Boss. So, you know, let's use our thinking skills next time, guys. I'm just kidding. It's okay. I just wanted to make this video because I don't like responding to comments where an argument could start, because I don't like arguing with strangers. Anyway, I don't feel like talking anymore, so the next video will probably be about trolls, because I've been thinking about those movies lately. Okay, bye.